All right, folks, we've seen some awesome, wonderful dance. Now we're going to kick it up a notch. Who's ready to see some martial arts? Yes. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the Northern California Naginata Foundation, or NCNF, which has been participating in the Cherry Blossom Festival for 30 years. Their dojos promote both the modern sport form of Naginata and the classical style of Tendo Naginata Jutsu. So if you don't know what a Naginata is, imagine a blade, a long blade at the end of a very long stick. That is Naginata. So the NCNF has dojos in Silicon Valley and San Francisco and Tendo in El Cerrito. Folks, please give a warm welcome to the Northern California Naginata Federation and Tendo.
Okay, so does anybody in the crowd know what Naginata is? Is there no one that knows what Naginata is? You do? Yeah? Okay, so this is pretty much the usual answer that we get. Not a lot of people know what it is. It's not as popular as Kendo and not as widespread as Kendo is. You can imagine that a real live Naginata, this is the weapon that we use. This is the practice weapon. So real Naginata would have a live blade on this end, where right now we replace it with bamboo because we like each other. We don't want to actually hurt each other. So the weapon itself and the art are both called Naginata. So what we're going to show you today is the different practices that we do during in our dojo. So we usually start with what's called Hapuburi. This is usually used for warm-ups, so we usually open our practices with these. And we go through the different cuts and the different motions that you can do with Naginata. And as you can see, Naginata is a more ambidextrous weapon than Tendo. So we use both sides of our body. We turn using our left and right hand. And we always start and end with a bow, which we call ring. And now we're going to show you what these are forms. We call it kata. So this is going to be the first set of forms that you usually learn as a beginner. Are called Shikake Oji. Shikake being the attacker, and Oji being the receiver. These are choreographed sets. But every time we do it, you want to have the same focus as if your partner might attack you somewhere else. The first two sets that you just watched, it teaches you that you can take a different line of attack, create a new line of attack instead of staying in that same line that you started with. The third kata, as you just saw, shows you, it teaches you, a harai, which is a parry. You can also parry your opponent's weapon away, create an opening for yourself. In number 4 that they just did, you see that instead instead of parrying or stepping or blocking, you can also dodge the attack by lifting your leg or moving away. It's another form of parry. They're calling out their attacks, so their target. And every time you hit a target, you have to have the same mindset to hit that target, otherwise you will not count. It's the idea that your mind and your body is going to be as one. Next, we're going to show you a different part of the practice where we put on armor, which is what we call a bogu. This part of the practice is where if you have people of different skill level, one that is able to wear the armor and one that has not put on an armor yet, we do what is called akari keiko. In this case, the person that's wearing the armor creates openings, and the more junior practitioner learns to read those openings, and they try to attack those openings. With more practice, it goes faster and faster, and the goal of this exercise is so not just to be able to see it, but also to exert and push yourself. And as you can see also, our armor doesn't cover the whole body. And that's because only a few parts of the body is a valid point. So as you can see, that's being hit right there is the wrist. So wrist is a valid point. The shin, the body, right there, that's the body, and the overhead. And those are the most common points. There's one more, but we only do it when both practitioners are skilled, and you learn it much later, which is the throat cross. And we do that very, very carefully. So we're not going to do that today. When you have two practitioners that are both in bogu, you can do friendly sparring, which we call kigeko. your valid point. So if a practitioner calls or they PI, which is when you hear them yelling out the points and they hit a spot that's different from their PI, do you think that's a valid point? Will it be taken? Yeah, I see some thumbs down. That's correct. It's because they don't like that, knowing that like the body and the mind is not having the same target. So you have to call out exactly what you're doing. And some practitioners get really creative in how they create openings and how to reach their targets. So as they practice and get more comfortable in their armor, you can see them moving as if they're not even wearing any weight on them. All the things that were shown earlier being incorporated into the fight. So there's some parrying, there's some blocking. That was a good opportunity of attacks, which you'll learn in higher ranks. When is a good time to attack? When your opponent's not ready. You start watching their breathing. It gets very technical and complicated at a later level. So there's a lot of different layers that you can go through as you learn in Naginata. At the end of every fight, you reset to the beginning and you back each other out of respect. Next, we're going to show you what's called a Zen Nihon Kata, which is we use a different wooden weapon, so the whole weapon is wood. It resembles more accurately to what a real Naginata is. Traditionally, the kata naginata, which is the wooden naginata, is only taught to practitioners who have reached the rank of sandan, which is the equivalent of a third degree black belt. And we treat it as if it is a life blade. You can see from the shape and material of the kata naginata why we don't use this when we spar. The wood would really can cause injuries, whereas the bamboo gives more flexibility. So the kata naginata is only used for the forms. lot of the movements look very similar to the Shikakeoji that you saw earlier, but it actually is much more complicated when you break it down and actually try to do it. It uses a much more intricate angles on the blade to make sure that you can do the parries. So if you get the angle of the blade incorrectly, you will not parry as well. They've been practicing for many years to make that look much easier than it actually is. So please thank them for their time. And we're going to have everybody come back on the stage. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting us.
Folks, that was the Northern California Naginata Federation and Tendo Ryu giving us a thrilling performance of the Naginata martial arts. Let's give them one more round of applause. Fantastic. Such an elegant form of martial arts. Folks, how's everybody doing out there? You staying warm? Hope so. Good. Folks, I just want to let you know that it is, around lunchtime, and if you have an opportunity to go down to our food vendor area, which is down on Webster Street, where all the food booths are, I want to let you know about our special food booths. The food booths, if you don't know this, all of our food booths are all run by local nonprofit organizations. That's right. Each food booth down there, it's not a restaurant, it's not a food truck. It is run by a Japantown nonprofit, and they do that as their fundraiser. So today, when you buy lunch at the food booth area, you'll be supporting a local Japantown nonprofit organization in their efforts and in their mission. So please, please, please visit our food booth area, but don't leave, because we have an excellent program for you here, right here at the main stage in the Peace Plaza. Our next group is going to be a comedic group. We're going to give them a minute to get them ready. And as they're getting ready, I'm going to let you know about a few other things. Also, Ikebana demonstrations are still happening at the JCCCNC, which is on Sutter Street between Buchanan and Webster. They'll be going on all day until 5 p.m. You can catch some demonstrations, some live demonstrations of some awesome Ikebana, which of course is the Japanese art of flower arrangement. Also, if you are into origami, which is the Japanese art of paper folding, please visit the Paper Tree store, which is up Buchanan Walkway, just behind you, as they are going to be doing some origami demonstrations there inside their store. So please visit them as well. All right. We're going to have a little commercial break here. I'm going to read you off some more announcements. Folks, again, as I said before, this festival is all volunteer run. It's a non-profit festival run by the non-profit organization, Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival. It means that we survive off of your donations, your support, and the generous support of local sponsors. We want to take a moment to thank our local sponsors, the Japanese Chamber of Commerce of Northern California, Ecology, NBC Bay Area, the San Francisco Arts Commission, the San Francisco Office of Economic and Workforce Development, U.S. Bank, the Henry and Tomoe Takahashi Charitable Foundation, the San Francisco Grants for the Arts, the Japan Center Garage, which is directly underneath our feet, and of course, my favorite, Sapporo Premium Beer. We also want to thank Japan Airlines, Strawberry Sweat. Kikkoman, everybody's favorite soy sauce. University of California, San Francisco. Condominium Travel Club. Uproar Design and Print. E-bike products. And the Consulate General of Japan in San Francisco, which has a booth directly behind you, right here in this club. Okay, we are ready to go.